Gout walked into a stadium of 10,000 people and lost. His rival stood on the podium. The crowd went home talking about someone else. That loss sat with him for months. Then on April 12, 2026, Gout walked back onto a track and ran 19.67 seconds, faster than Usain Bolt ever ran as a teenager. The comeback was complete. Gout was born on December 29, 2007, in Ipswich, Queensland. His parents, Bona and Monica, escaped South Sudan during the Civil War. They ran first to Egypt, then made it to Australia in 2005, 2 years before Gout was born. He grew up as one of 7 children, 40 kilometers from Brisbane, in a house that had nothing to do with sprinting. He was a soccer kid. He had no plan to run track. Then in 2020, his first year at Ipswich Grammar School, everything changed at a school sports carnival. He had never worn spikes. He had never trained. He just ran, and every coach on the field stopped what they were doing. Coach Diane Shepherd found him that day. She pulled him aside and told him something nobody had ever said to him before. She told him he could be great. That one sentence changed the direction of his life. By age 14, Gout was running 10.57 seconds in the 100 meters and 21.14 in the 200 meters. Both were Australian under-16 records. He was not just fast for a kid, he was historically fast. At 16 years old, he ran 20.04 seconds in the 200 meters. That broke a record set by Peter Norman at the 1968 Mexico City Olympics, a record that had stood for 56 years. Bolt himself saw the video, jumped on Instagram, and wrote 4 words, "Gout looks like young me." Adidas signed him before he finished high school, a professional contract at 16. The world was watching. March 2025, Melbourne's Lakeside Stadium, 10,000 tickets sold out. The first sellout at a one-day Australian athletics meet since 2001. Over 1.2 million people watched on television. This was the Maury Plant meet, and Gout was the reason every single person showed up. He walked out in a red Adidas tracksuit. The crowd lost their minds. This was his very first senior 200 meters race. He was 17 years old. Lachlan Kennedy had other plans. Kennedy is 4 years older than Gout, born and raised in Queensland just like him. 9 days before this race, he had just won silver in the 60 meters at the World Indoor Championships in Nanjing. His personal best in the 200 meters was 21.19 seconds. Nobody expected him to win this race. Kennedy exploded out of the blocks. He crushed the bend, built a huge lead, and refused to let it go. He crossed the line in 20.26 seconds, smashing his own personal best by almost a full second and recording the 5th fastest 200 meters in Australian history. Gout finished in 20.30 seconds, just 4/100ths of a second behind. 4/100ths. The width of a shoe. Kennedy said after the race, "I knew he was coming. My goal was just to hold him off. 5 more meters and he would have had me." Gout walked over and gave Kennedy a hug. He did not complain. He told reporters, "That is what you live for. This environment, the hype, the people, the pressure. This is sport." But inside, something switched. Gout. Training that scares experts. What happened next is the part that makes coaches nervous. Gout did not go to the gym and start lifting heavy weights. Gout weighs 66 kilograms at 1.83 meters tall. He is lighter than almost every elite sprinter alive. No serious heavy gym work. His power comes from technique, not muscle. His stride length is 2.62 meters per step. That is longer than Bolt's stride length at his peak. His ground contact time, which is how long his foot touches the track per step, is unusually short. Biomechanists studying his race footage say his neuromuscular coordination looks like a 25-year-old professional, not a teenager in high school. His Achilles tendon stores and releases energy like a spring. Analysts say it may be the most efficient they have ever measured in an athlete his age. Shepherd's training program does not follow the standard rules. No heavy lifting. Core stabilization only. Sprint drills, block starts, reaction work, mobility, and structured rest. She protects his body while his speed grows on its own. In February 2026, Gout ran 10.0 seconds flat in the 100 meters at a quiet club meet in Brisbane, called the Dane Bird Smith Shield. No cameras, no fanfare, just a Saturday morning run that tied the fastest legal 100 meters ever run by an Australian man on home soil. And he ran it with weeks still to spare before the big race. Kennedy, defending what he won. Kennedy did not slow down after Melbourne either. He opened 2026 with a 20:46 win at the Hobart Track Classic. His 100 meters personal best sits at 9.98 seconds, one of only a handful of Australians to ever go under 10 seconds legally. He holds the Australian 60 meters record at 6.43 seconds. He ran on Australia's 4x100 meter relay team at the 2024 Paris Olympics. He had every reason to believe that. He had beaten Gout before. He had the experience. He had the results. The older, stronger, more seasoned sprinter was ready. What he was not ready for was what Gout had become. Gout, 19.67 seconds that shook the world. April 12, 2026, Sydney Olympic Park Athletics Centre. The Australian Athletics Championships, not the junior meet, the senior one, against grown men. Before the race, Gout wrote one number in his notes, 19.75 seconds. He repeated it to himself every day for a week. He drove hard out of the blocks, stayed low through the acceleration phase, and opened up completely down the straight. Aidan Murphy, one of Australia's best young sprinters, pushed him hard around the bend. Murphy ran 19.88 seconds, under 20 seconds, an extraordinary run. Gout ran 19.67 seconds. He crossed the line, looked up at the clock, and the stadium erupted. The commentator said, "The world will be shaking." It is seismic. That time broke the world under 20 record of 19.69 seconds, set by American Arian Knighton in 2022. It beat Usain Bolt's best teenage time of 19.93 seconds by 26 hundredths of a second. Bolt ran that time in 2004 and never ran faster as a teenager. Gout just ran 19.67. That time would have earned a bronze medal at the Paris 2024 Olympics. After crossing the line, Gout told reporters exactly what he had written in his notes. He said, "I wrote down 19.75, and for the past week I have been telling myself I am running 19.75. And obviously, 19.67. You have got to love it." Noah Lyles, 8-time world champion and Olympic 100 meters gold medalist, had already said publicly that Gout was more talented at the same age than Lyles himself had been. Not someday, right now. And Usain Bolt, watching from Geneva, Switzerland, gave the teenager the weight of his full experience. Bolt told CNN, "At that young age, I was there myself. You start getting pulled in every direction and forget about track and field." Hopefully he has the right people around him, because if you lose track of the sport, everything else goes with it. Gout heard the noise. He heard the critics who questioned his Sydney conditions. He answered every single one of them at the Brisbane Junior Championships 6 days later, running under the eyes of his home crowd and winning the 100 meters final. He said, "There are always going to be critics. If you have critics, it means you are doing something right." Kennedy won the Melbourne meeting. Gout won something bigger. He ran 19.67 seconds, set a world record, and sent a message to every rival, every doubter, and every sprinter on the planet.